Creeps rule! Creeps rule! They chanted. I stared in horror as their faces twisted and their bodies began to transform. Bumps popped out all over their heads. Bumps about the size of quarters rose up on their arms and hands. Their skin began to darken. In seconds, they were all bright purple. The big purple bumps trembled and shook on their skin. Their faces stretched. Their hair disappeared into their purple skulls. Their eyes sank into their flat purple heads. Long, ropey tongues flicked from between jagged rows of teeth. Bumpy purple tongues, glistening as they whipped them from side to side. I stared at them, unable to move, unable to run, unable to take my eyes off the four creatures. Bumpy lizard creatures. Creeps.
You can't scare me. Not with the basement of botany. Maybe a sentient dummy. Calling all creeps.
Boo Dudes! Welcome to the last episode of 2020. NN 2020. Our longtime listeners know what that stands for. Calling all creeps, and I'm your host, a bushel of mistletoe. And I'm here with a sexy little wreath.
I'm
Ooh,
a wreath, and I'm gonna suck your mistletoes.
Oh yeah, baby. You ever use any mistletoe, Dave?
In like my cooking?
Yeah. Yep.
What do you think? Like when someone goes to buy mistletoe, it's like somebody going to like a Spencer's to buy a dildo. Because like you're buying it from Christmas Land, and they're like, "Are you trying to force somebody into unconsensual kissing?" And you're like, "I don't know," which I guess is worse than being like, "Not gonna go in your holes," and you're like, "Yeah." I guess like it's weird to be like, "There's a plant above your head, so you better plant one on me."
Yeah, I don't know if anybody would indulge whoever actually did or said that.
Yeah. And they're like, "But I'm the lead singer of Brand New. You kind of have to."
Oh, no. Reminder to all of our listeners, delete Brand New from your Spotify playlists. Go back to 2015 when things were quote-unquote okay, and remove those songs. Sorry to say. Dave, how was your Christmas?
It was okay. It was very low-key. We went to my girlfriend's abuela's.
Nice.
And had a Feliz Navidad.
Of course.
En español. And it was interesting because with the weather, my allergies got a little crazy. I don't know if your allergies get nuts. My allergies went insane. So, of course, in COVID times, I'm like, I have like a little bit of a runny nose. It's hiding, and I'm like trying not to sneeze.
Right.
You know, like, because it was like a dry sneeze or anything, and I'm just like, hold it in, stay cool, stay tight. And every now and then I'd sneeze, I'd be like, oh, that's crazy. But I remember last time we talked about how I decided to try cream cheese again, and dairy, as an old man, doesn't work with me. Have you ever had, I believe it's called coquito?
Yes, I have. This is like a rum-based drink?
Yeah,
correct?
It's like a rum and pineapple-based drink.
Yeah.
And I sent you a photo of it.
Oh, yes, you did.
In the same way that we call this No Nut 2020, where we cannot discuss any male or female excrement-based things, coquito, you can bleep it out, because it's when it's a nice, fine, non-chunky one, kind of looks like a J. Like a glass of
man snow.
Like a glass of J.
Yeah.
So I've had it before in my life, and theirs were more chunky and more rum and pineapple-based, or coconut-based, sorry.
Right.
This was the best one I've ever had. Incredible, smooth, delicious. Like one of those shots. It's like a shot because it's like rum-based, but like you don't. It's just everything is so masterfully crafted. And this woman, Abuela, like cook-wise,
she made it.
Yeah. Oh man, she came over from Cuba and made wedding cakes at one point for a living, like all this stuff, like crazy.
Cuban food is so fucking good.
It's really good. That was my Christmas. But the problem though is that I had a bunch of these glasses of this coquito, not knowing that, like I'm just like, coconut and rum all day. not knowing about all the different kinds of dairy products and cream and condensed milk and stuff that you
I
put
was going
into
to
them.
say, there's some cream in there.
So I start sweating. And we're sitting there at Abuela's in her, like, one-bedroom apartment. And it's just, like, my girlfriend, her dad, and her grandmother. And I am, like, number one, I don't want to sneeze because it makes you look like an asshole. Number two, if I sneeze, I will fire poop out my ass.
Do a little brown sneeze.
So I sat there and wished a Feliz Navidad and did not sneeze.
And you held it.
I held it all the way home, popped into my toilet, just did one fire, and then we played a lot of Mario Kart. It was a very, very joyous holiday. How did you celebrate this, the birth of the Lord to some, Jesus, baby Christ?
I don't know if I could top
Almost
violently
shitting yourself?
into a toilet, but yeah. But I'll try. Well, first thing, Dave, you know what I saw on Christmas?
Santa?
I'll give you one guess.
Santa?
Santa? Yes. Do you know what Santa was doing?
Giving gifts?
You could say that. Dave, I saw my mommy, kissing Santa Claus.
Oh my God.
And you know what? I came down and I was like, because I
Also, you don't,
my parents.
you don't live with your parents, which is crazy.
So I came downstairs and my mom was in my house.
You checked
And,
the Nest Cam that is connected at your parents' house, as you
Yeah.
often do.
And she was kissing Santa Claus. And I said, get off my fucking mom.
Was it a BBT? Anytime I see a Santa, I got to make sure it's not a BBT.
A BBT?
Yeah,
A big booty?
No, a bad Santa, a Billy Bob Thornton. Because you got your normal Santa, then you got your BBTs. Billy Bob Thornton's bad Santas.
Maybe it was just Billy Bob.
Billy Bob Thornton, he's a bad
Yeah,
Santa.
it did smell like cigarettes when he left.
Oh, okay. He looks like a man that would smell like cigarettes.
Yes. Yes, he does.
Yeah.
No, but after that, I nothing. I mean, on Christmas we chilled here, and what do we do? We watched some Christmas things, which was nice.
Mm-hmm.
We ordered Chinese food,
Oh, that's nice.
but just kept it real low key. And Dave, do you like festive movies? Is there like a favorite thing you watch?
I have more fall movies than I have
Right.
Christmas movies, but there are Christmas movies that I dearly enjoy.
Yeah, it's hard because they continue to make them, but I don't know. Largely the palette, the bookshelf of movies kind of stays the same. It's always the same.
I like drinking and watching the Hallmark ones sometimes when you have a group of
Okay.
people. It's more fun with a group of people. It's always like insert man or woman, and they like are a business person. And they have
Yeah.
to go like do a business in a town that has like, it's like the New Orleans of Christmas, and they're like,
Right.
our town is our main fucking export is ornaments. And you're like, oh,
Yeah.
you mean Jollyville? And like then they meet a man or woman. Then they're like, listen, we got to talk about the bottom line. And he's like, not until we go sledding in the first snow. Like, and yeah, but then they got real weird recently where it's like there's always magic involved and shit.
Sure.
Yeah, it's just
Trying to combine properties. All the Harry Potter freaks out there.
one we saw, it was crazy because like she like found this guy and had to go to like live in this bed and breakfast, but it was also like they were going to sell it or something. And every time she showed up, like, he was there and she went through, and then she was like, maybe till next Christmas, and they like had a falling out. Then she came back and it was like next Christmas again, and she had to sell the house or something. And it turned out, and he was like an old snazzy dresser, but it turned out like he died on Christmas and was like a ghost that lived in this house, and she like had sex with him and stuff. And then like they sold the house, but she still lived in it, and like every Christmas he could become like in his corporeal form, and then they could like
Whoa.
fuck under the Christmas tree.
Without the fucking and stuff, it sounds kind of goosebumpsy. Mm-hmm. A little bit.
Yeah.
Paranormal, you know.
Goose humps is more like it.
Yeah, now you're talking my language.
More also goose humps. This is something
Yes.
ridiculous that I don't have a segue for it, but I was telling you earlier. I was stopped at my parents to give them just drop off their gifts,
Oh, yes,
trying to keep
yes.
social distance and stuff. We
Of
did a
course.
Zoom, of course. We Zoomed to see each other, but I had to get the gifts there somehow, so dropped them off.
Sure.
And of course, every time I'm there, I've had crap at their house forever, and I'm like, oh, I'll get rid of some stuff. So I picked something up from the garage. It was a box of all my sports cards. Cards are expensive now. People want them. Some people want them. I'm like, we'll give them to kids or whatever.
Sure.
I was looking through, and I was like, you got Wade Boggs, you got Shaquille O'Neal. But then I had this card, and I was confused. I'm going to show you. Describe this for the
la,
viewers.
Well, this is some folks in a canoe, and there's a person floating face down in the water. Probably just a joke. Probably just a prank that he's pulling on his buddies. And then there's somebody who's, I guess, diving in to try to save him.
Yeah.
Is that about right?
Yeah, it's like a photo of like a boy drowning.
And yes, and in the corner, there is a little G in a familiar font.
Yeah, so I found a stack of my old Goosebumps trading cards.
Whoa, that's a lot.
And most of these, that art, by the way, it was like a nice, like, I don't even know, like an oil painting
It
or
looks
some
beautifully
crap.
painted, yeah.
Painted by David Chelsea.
Oh, my buddy
And
David Chelsea.
there's a lot of art recreated, but most of these are like, all the art basically is like, fuck you, child, is the theme of every one. So that was the first one. Describe this one.
Don't mind if I do. Well, it's, of course, the ghost of Christmas to come. And it's a big Grim Reaper. Very scary looking. He looks like a Venom Grim Reaper. And I guess about to kill a child.
He's like pointing to a child who's trying to run away like you.
Yeah. I mean, it's very intimidating.
And they all have names. So the drowning one was called Raging River Rescue.
Wait, but this is not based on a book.
Well, the
It's just
first
death,
one was
portraits
from
of death?
the first one was from Welcome to Camp Nightmare, and it tells a little bit about the book on the back.
Okay.
This one was from The Ghost Next Door. Remember how like
I
death
don't-
follows him randomly and
Oh,
it goes nowhere in the
sure.
story?
Sure.
What about this one?
That is a young boy in a plaid shirt, flannel shirt, falling to his death. I guess, is that a mummy thing?
It's a pyramid plunge from The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb.
Okay.
And these get real good. So there's this one.
Oh my god, a classic Slappy. I hate the way he looks.
Well, that's
here.
Mr. Wood.
Okay. Yeah, he looks like shit. He looks like a drunk, like a big bulbous nose and like shitty ass hair. But he's choking a kid on the stairs.
Well, he's choking a kid down the stairs.
Yeah, he's like riding him down the stairs like a slide and choking him.
And then, of course, another classic.
Oh, I have that one. Wait, I have my cards here, I think. But that would be, is that Slappy or is that Mr. Wood?
That's Mr. Wood puking on a teacher.
Right.
But
Yes.
so many of these are just like really nice paintings of kids getting hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, I know I have some of those. I'm like flipping through. There's a shit ton of Pokemon cards in here.
Well, those are worth money too. Now.
Oh, here
So
we go.
this one I love. Look at this.
Oh, yeah. This
Describe
is like a
this.
scene from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Right?
Oh, it's of course Stay Out of the Basement.
It's Stay Out of the Basement, and that's her. That's our character. I forget her name, of course.
Margaret.
Listen, if you're gonna try to quiz me on our second episode, think again.
I only know from the back of the card.
But it's Margaret in between her dad. You can tell by the baseball cap and the lab coat. But who's the other guy in the lab coat?
It's the plant version. Remember when it's like, which one do I shoot?
Oh, sure, of course.
And the one thing that makes this card funny, I mean, like, why would I show you this, is that, of course, they all have names, and I want you to read the name on this one.
Double Dads. I've been to that website.
All right.
Yeah, Dave, this is, here we go. Back at you, right?
Yeah, I got a lot of doubles, so I may be sending some your way.
This is, here's the villain in A Mummy's Tomb closing the sarcophagi, the mummy case, I'm sorry.
Mummy case.
On the two children to suffocate them.
This is
man.
supposed to glow in the dark, but it looks like somebody did what we shouldn't do in 2020 all over this mummy. Because the paint that they use to glow in the dark got a little crusty over the years.
It did indeed.
Speaking of that, we have to discuss it. We've been doing it throughout the year. We don't even discuss it in the episodes. People just hear things bleeped out, or it's like an inside joke for people that actually listen to this podcast. But
Yeah.
No Nut 2020, this is our final episode.
Correct.
And I know you guys are like, oh man, I don't want to hear the J word and talk about all sorts of shootings. But
Shooting ropes.
to memorialize this, there's merch.
Yes. Oh, this makes me so happy. Dave is a creative merch genius and has added new designs to our TeePublic shop, of which I've ordered several.
Oh no.
And it's very exciting. It's very exciting to me.
We have-
But there is a No Nut shirt if you'd like to represent.
There is a shirt that just says it says calling all creeps at the top, and then it has a red circle with a line through it, and there's a nut in the middle.
Yes.
That's the No
Check
Nut
it
shirt.
out, baby.
There's also another one that says I survived 2020, and it's in a gooey font that is white, and it just
Goosebumps font.
yeah, Goosebumps font, probably Goosebumps font, but it's a white spray-ish font.
Spray snow.
These are just for fun. If you think you're supporting us by buying these, like, it's super sweet that you would do that, but like literally when somebody buys one of these shirts, we make like less than $1. So
I wouldn't even know how to access the money.
the
quite
money
honestly.
goes to my card, and then it just pays for our thing.
Beautiful.
Which, by the
Love
way, January, don't worry about it. It's covered by all the J-Off shirts that we did. No, it's good. But, yeah, and then we also did an RLS Is My Homeboy, which
Yes.
surely will be taken down soon, but we'll see. And they're just stuff I made in 3 seconds when I was waiting for the school year to end for my job.
Love
but,
it.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I was on that site to buy, to take a look at our Calling All Creeps classic logo of you and I skeletons. And I added that to my cart. And then there's a few other podcasts I like that use TeePublic. So I was like looking at their stuff, and I got one of those shirts. And as I was like refreshing, I saw another design of ours come up. Genuinely, Dave and I were on this site at the same time, me as a consumer and he as a creator. It was very funny.
Oh, we
Very
also have
serendipitous.
a Carl Germ Where's the Witch shirt.
That's also one I got. Yeah.
It's in the style of the Where's the Beef shirt, which is like a funny TV thing from before you and I were alive.
Right. I Googled it, and it is exactly the same as the Where's the Beef.
But it's just a good shirt design.
It's just good. I just like it.
And-
I got it in that like goldenrod
Yeah.
yellow because it just looks good with the red font.
It does. Those beef guys knew what was up.
Hell yeah.
Should we get into our titular episode?
Let's do it. It's a special one. And guess what? I'm not going to take any extra time to talk about the book. I want this to be over as soon as possible. So we're going to roll through the plot.
Well, wait, it's the titular one, and we got to get to the nips first before we hit the full titular.
Yes, please give me a nip.
All right, I'm gonna nip you. I'm gonna nip you right on the boobie. So this is, of course, Calling All Creeps. Heard of it? This book came out in December of 1996. Mm-hmm. The top song. Sorry, I'm burping some drinking beers. Is "Unbreak My Heart" by Tony Braxton.
Oh my God, love it. Hey, this video, you remember this video?
No,
You ever see it?
No.
It made me real horny as a kid.
really?
Yeah.
I was
It's
gonna
'cause
say-
she's just showering the whole time.
Are you serious? It's a
She's just-
long song.
I know. I think it's like to so you don't really see she's crying. You're not crying in the shower, but she's naked and she looks good. And I was 9-year-old wiener boy.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing is
Excited.
that, like, in the shower, it's like because of the falling water in the shower, they can't see you cry or
Jay.
Yeah. I mean, we should be bleeping out these, but it's like we're going out. We're going out. All right. So Tony Braxton, which by the way is probably my like drunker. There's like a level of drunk that I am when I'm doing karaoke. Unbreak My Heart is
Yeah.
like because it's like There's modulation. It's long.
Right.
It keeps going. Ugh.
Yeah.
But it's
a hard song.
it's reached my heart. It's become my most drunk song because I refuse to
Yeah.
do R. Kelly now. Because Bump and Grind
Yeah.
used to be my number one.
Nah, fuck R. Kelly.
A lot of people tried to or were forced to, and they were underage. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was awful. Anyway, top movie. Speaking of children, 101 Dalmatians. That puppy's
baby.
ovaries were strong and willing.
Oh yeah. Fertile dog.
Fertile dog, 101, and that. Can we say, like, you know, when you're a trucker and you bring your goods into a truck and you load up the truck? I guess I said the word load. Well, that's about a truck.
Depends
though.
on context.
That's about a truck. But anyway, think of the dog in 101 Dalmatians. 101 of those. Jerry Maguire, not as funny of a movie,
No.
but
No.
then Beavis and Butthead Do America.
Hey, that's fun.
Next to
Like Judge.
101 Dalmatians, that was the second top grossing movie.
Okay.
And now I'm going to play one of those games for nostalgia.
Ooh la la.
So we're going to
What
talk.
special time?
It's well, speaking of special times, it's the holidays of December of 1996. Guess what they had then?
Nintendo 64.
Well, I didn't get there yet. A Hanukkah, a Christmas,
Uh-huh.
time to give gifts. I was going to ask you if you can name. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 different holiday gifts from 1996. Some of the top holiday gifts from 1996.
Okay.
I think you could probably name at least, I don't know, 3.
Okay. That's generous of you.
I actually have 7. One that I'll add to it, but all right.
So you want me to guess?
Yeah.
Okay. Is this timed?
Yes. Time
how much
starts now.
Nintendo 64.
That's 1.
Okay. PlayStation.
No.
Shit. Game Boy.
No.
Fucking beep. Wait,
What was-
Tamagotchi.
Yeah, Tamagotchi.
Hell yeah.
Okay, and the other one, here's a hint. It was like the biggest it's like the we need to get this for Christmas toy. Like you ever see that movie Jingle All the Way with like Turbo Man?
Sure,
It was like the
of course.
real life Turbo Man, but not actually a action figure. It was like the
Buzz
one
Lightyear.
Well, yeah, that was also on the list. Buzz Lightyear
Hell
was
yeah.
on the list, but what is the one doll that everybody couldn't get for their kids and went crazy for? It's the most 90s Christmas item ever.
I guess like Teddy Ruxpin was 80s. right?
Yeah. Close though.
Fuck. I don't know.
I'll give you one
Bone
more
Crunching
hint.
Buddies.
I'll give you
Yeah.
one more hint. Some people probably held it on their genitals because it felt
Oh, the
good.
Tickle Me Elmo?
Yeah, you're like my genitals.
my
remember that?
God,
That was
yeah.
the number one gift
Wow.
of '96. It was Tickle Me Elmo, Nintendo 64, Foam and Color Barbie,
Okay.
Buzz Lightyear, Beanie Babies made their resurgence.
Oh, yes.
They had been around since '93 apparently, but '96 was kind of their like farewell, so they're still pretty big. But
yeah.
and also Snack Time Cabbage Patch Kids.
What did they like eat?
Yeah, they eat, but I also discussed this on the Halloween episode of AIC Pod, our dad Eric podcast.
Eric, shout out Dad. Merry Christmas, Dad. Thanks for all the gifts.
Dad just gave me a pack of cigarettes and he's like, "Smoke up, Johnny!" A real great Christmas in the Eric's last name household.
Dad, you just gave me a lifetime of therapy and trauma. Thanks a lot. Sexy ass fucking dad.
Yeah, you shaved your mustache on your Christmas photo, you quitter.
What, he did?
Yeah.
Eric, come on.
Hey,
Now-
I don't
now-
think you could say that. It's still 2020.
I regrew my mustache, Dave.
I know, it looks really good. I
thanks,
actually
buddy.
just trimmed my beard.
You're looking svelte.
Yeah,
Ooh, little
but
tongue out.
snack. I talked about the Snack Time Cabbage Patch Kids because those were Cabbage Patch dolls that had mouths, and you could put plastic food into them, and it would like pull it into their mouth, and then it would fall out their back. Not their butthole,
Okay.
but like the back of their neck. Yeah, this toy was recalled in January of 1997, right after, because it was one of the hot-selling toys of 1996, but the thing is, it was activated when you touched its mouth area, but there was no stop. It just figured that the food would come out the other side. So it would catch little girls' hair
Oh,
and
that's
start
terrifying.
eating, and would only stop when it was ripped out, the hair, the root was ripped from their scalp.
Ooh,
So that
boy.
toy didn't really make it far.
It was a maimer.
The
Cabbage
Maimer.
Patch maimer.
And that's all I have to say about December of 1996.
Well, it was a swell time, of course. We all remember the blizzard of 96
Oh,
here in the
shit.
Northeast.
I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah, baby.
That was the blizzard.
It was fun as hell.
I remember my little brother was 6 years old, and he was like running atop the snow, and he fell in, and he just disappeared. Like it was, it was like a stage door. He was like a little kid running across the top of the snow and just. Flunk.
Yeah. Which is terrifying and very funny.
Yeah, we had a sliding glass window. I remember we pulled back like the curtains, and it was like there was maybe a foot that you could see sun. But like as a child, like I was 8, I was like, holy shit! Like it was.
Yeah.
That was the most snow that I'll ever remember in my life because
For sure.
you're a young kid, and it's everywhere. It was awesome.
Yeah, it ruled for us. It was probably a nightmare for everybody else, but I thought it was great.
It was awesome. But let's talk about, speaking of nightmares, let's talk about this book.
Yeah, okay, let's. I have a question for you. It's been a while since we've read this. What were I know what I thought of this book going into it, and also having it be like the name of our podcast. But what were your preconceptions going into this? Did you have any particular memories of this book?
So I actually think I kind of merged the plots of this book and Jack-O-Lantern.
Okay.
And I mean, they really kind of have similar features,
Yeah.
but very different stories. So I kind of saw that a little bit more than so it was kind of like I had an idea of what it was, but I think I enjoyed it either as much as I expected to or more than I expected to.
Yeah. I think it is enjoyable. To me it was it was always like a weird one in my head, not truly remembering it. I sort of remember like the newspaper angle, and then but I didn't know quite how like these, because the cover is iconic and it looks like
It
a
is.
bunch of velociraptors from Jurassic Park, like in a phone booth.
Yeah, but they're like hip teens and shit.
Right. One's wearing like a vest, a denim vest. It's cool as hell.
Sick.
One is like Bart Simpson-esque with a backwards hat. But I thought like this is a strange book before I like cracked the spine again, and I was right. It's definitely weird. You're right to make the connection to Jack-O-Lanterns in that like these kids are this thing, and then also it being extraterrestrial.
It is.
Without giving too much away. But
I mean, it doesn't. Yeah, it kind of. Well, about this, the only notes I have about this book too is, according to R.L. Stein's autobiography, the idea for this book came from a joke that he once played on somebody in college,
okay.
and it ended up backfiring on him. So he played this joke on somebody in college.
That's so weird.
So it's kind of autobiographical in a way, which makes a little bit of sense, and I want to get into that because the emotions of this book, I don't know, this book is really, I'm trying to find the words. There's always bullying. There's always the inside of like, oh, this is what I think. This is what this is. But it feels more grounded for a book about purple aliens.
You're right.
Emotionally.
The bullying, it's interesting to lock into the bullying aspect because you're right. That is a theme throughout the series, but it is heightened here, and it is also, I thought, very real.
It's very real. A lot of
more
this is
real
real
than others.
The emotion in this book is true.
Yeah, because our main character is Ricky, and he is just torn apart by bully. I mean, relentless. Nobody fucking likes this kid. And it does speak to how tough. I mean, we've talked about Carly Beth and other characters being tortured, but he is like I would, at that age, I'd be fucking devastated all the time.
And he can't get ahead because, like, he is. And they're not even like, he's a klutz or he's a this.
Yeah.
Like, Carly Beth was just like, she's the most scared girl ever.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
but this is just like, he's like, yeah, I'm a nerd and people just fucking hate me. And I don't know
They
why.
do. Adults and students alike.
Yeah, they just treat him like shit, and there's no jokey reason for any of it.
No, and he's sympathetic in a way, and then in another way, as you arrive, I mean, certainly with the conclusion, but then on and off throughout, he's also sort of like, he's been made by this, and he is like he's vulnerable and kind of sheepish and ultimately cowardly. Like, he's not a super redeemable character. You could argue that you empathize with some of his motives, but he's not the hero, unfortunately. So it's sad. It's sad in that way too.
And also, his parents aren't around, and they make that very, very clear.
Well, there's a part in this book where his parents just like laugh in his face.
So I watched the episode too after I finished the book last night, and like, okay, this is bad language for it, but I think this is the only way to explain it. How they portrayed Ricky and the actor they picked and how they made him dress and act, it looked like any character that Rick Moranis played in the 90s would call this kid a pussy. And those are the exact words that a Rick Moranis character, that the Honey I Blew Up the Kids guy would say to this kid. Like, they made him dressed in, like, at one point he was wearing, like, pleated, tucked-in shirt into his khakis with, like, an oversized khaki jacket and was, like, on a nature walk with a big walking stick. Like, circular red glasses, like, they just want this kid to be abused, and it's not for any goofy, scaredest kid. I like lizards, and people think it's dumb.
No.
I can't slam dunk like the other kids. It's just like, they're like, fuck this kid for being different and for not, I don't know, like dressing different or being a nerd or whatever.
What is his thing that makes him stick out? He's just sort of awkward. There's really nothing. They just call him. There's a lot of, like, I guess it's just Ricky Rat or Sicky Ricky. They call him a lot. Mm-hmm. And the book is set up in an interesting way that R.L.'s kind of done this before, but we're sprung into action in chapter 1, where Ricky is at the school that he goes to, and but it's after hours, and he's going to sneak in to the office of the school newspaper, while like one writer is there, and then also like the supervisor is there, and he's there to pull a prank on them. And but then it goes back into like, okay, how did I get here? Here's some exposition on how I got to this moment. And that catches you up to present day, which is like, I don't know, 5 chapters in or something like that. And it goes from there. And what he's doing in the beginning is central to the book. You get the creeps thing right away, right? Because he goes in, and while this writer is out, I think it's Tasha who's in there, who's one of the antagonists here. He writes, it's about to be, the newspaper's going to be published the next day. The article's written, it's up there on the screen, the cursor is blinking, and Ricky sneaks in while she's out and writes, calling all creeps. Let me find the exact thing because this is important. But it's basically... I
have it here.
Go for it.
Calling all creeps. Calling all creeps. If you're a real creep, call Tasha at 555-6709 after midnight.
Yeah. And the reason for that, we find out, is that Tasha calls him a creep at a certain point. Because Ricky kind of fucks shit up a lot. Not really through fault of his own, but more because he gets bullied so much that, like, he's like, he falls into all these like precarious situations because they like push him and fucking break his shit that he's responsible for. And so she's like, Ricky, you're a creep, and it is too much. Actually, all of them, as we've said already, everybody fucking hates him. So he walks into this newspaper office because he now is trying to work there to get like these extracurricular points that he needs in this school. And even I made a note of Miss Richards is like the adult supervisor of the newspaper. And when Ricky walks in, I made a note of this because it's like baffling. On page 12, she sees him and frowns. And there's no backstory on that. It's just like nobody fucking likes Ricky. So the adult teacher sees Ricky and goes, "Ooh," and frowns at him. And then Tasha's super mean to him and calls him a creep because he spills soda all over her computer and it explodes, which isn't real.
Okay, so all the bad things that he does, it's all caused by his 4 enemies.
Yes.
Jared, David, Brenda, and Wart, who is like a gross-looking kid, and his last name we learned is Wortman, but even the teachers call him Wart.
Yeah.
This is a first-person book, so we are seeing everything from Ricky's eyes, and that I feel like makes it even sadder because he understands what's happening to them and he sees her frown, and it's just like it's put onto you. You're in that position. And also at the point where he sees people and like you were saying that like she frowns at him, but when she's introduced, when he's trying to sneak into the office, he's like, she's young, she's pretty. Like he's also like a little, horny is like the funny thing that we say, but like he's trying to find like a love connection and seeing women in this book, which is kind of interesting because like he has a crush in this book and there's always like, she's a girl, but she's my friend, we look alike. But like it's kind of like a girl likes me, a girl talks to me. Like it's interesting. So basically he puts that into the newspaper, he sneaks home, we learn that he got muddy shoes and drove through the rain to get there, whatever. But so he wanted to get a better newspaper story. Wart was it that grabbed his soda and it exploded on there? Yeah. But after that, he's blaming Tasha for like, oh, she said I'm a creep in front of everybody. But like, a lot of his anger is also misplaced on Tasha in a way when it's like the enemies Wart in his squad they're just they're gonna be there. He doesn't see them as the cause for any event.
Yeah.
That's just how things go. It's like, it's raining today. Okay. Like, it's just, that is the setting that he's in, and those are, as much out of his control as, like, the snow. So, there's nobody left on the newspaper to go cover the car wash that they're doing.
Yep.
So, even though he's supposed to be off of the newspaper, she calls him and says, come, don't fuck this up.
Yeah, like this is your last chance. I want you to cover. It's like a school car wash that they're setting up as like a charity or something. And so she gives him such a big last shot that she entrusts her dad's film camera to him and says, do not fuck this camera up. It's my dad's. It's important. Just go take a few shots for the paper. It's like right outside the door.
Yeah.
What could go wrong? And of course the bullies are there, and you're right. The bullies are always the reason. And he hates them obviously, but it is a little bit misplaced anger because if you admit that you're helpless, like that's not a good feeling. But they're abusers. I mean, really, physically, emotionally, you name it, and they're abusive. And they trip him. They soak the camera. The camera breaks because he falls on his chest where the camera is. And at this point, he snaps and he takes one of the hoses and he like drenches Wart's dad's car
He like puts it in the car.
Yeah, right. Because the bullies, his enemies, are working the car wash. So, or they're like washing his dad's car, and this is it. I mean, he fucks it up. So obviously he goes back and says like, well, it wasn't my fault, but here's what happened. And Tasha's just had enough. The camera's destroyed. Calls him a creep again or whatever. And that sort of brings you to present day where he's like, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to the school and put that message in the paper.
Which is, it's still crazy because he has these inevitable bullies. And if you look at this from Tasha's point of view, like, I'm trying to write the school newspaper and a kid throws his soda, is always fucking shit up. He throws his soda onto the keyboard and deletes everything.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Why is this kid here? Yeah. Then it's just like, all right, all you have to do is take 3 photos, and he comes back in 3 seconds with a smashed camera. Like, fuck this kid.
Yeah.
But, like, from her point of view, like, yeah, she's mad. But, like, from his point of view, he's like, she's the one who's done this. But it's just the bullies are just an inevitable part. Like, she doesn't understand his day-to-day, and he's too, I guess, used to it and abused to realize that that's not normal.
Yeah, and it's the communication of it, too. He kind of just gets really defensive, and he even acknowledges at one point in this book, he's like, I sound like a little whiny baby. Because he's always like, it wasn't me, though. It's not my fault. And it's like, you actually have to take the time and explain what happened, and that this is ongoing, and then also check your tone and try to communicate more efficiently rather than just kind of squeal defensively.
Yeah. Because, like, if you like, you broke my dad's camera, and he's like, I'm sorry, like, instead of being like, I walked outside, they sprayed me with a hose and then tackled me and smashed it.
Right. And also, I'm gonna go to the fucking guidance and principal because this is happening like my
every
entire
day.
life.
Yeah.
Like, this is an ongoing issue, and I feel like I'm being abused, quite honestly. Like those sorts of things. Like, I would never fucking say that when I'm 12. I don't even know what that is. So I get it, but it's just not working in his favor, the whole situation.
So, more that doesn't go in his favor coming up. Well, some things do go well. So, in class, a new girl who's blonde and has dangly earrings.
That's right, dangly plastic earrings, which made a gentle, soft noise. I don't know, that stuck with me for some reason, because I was like, what, like plastic earrings that make a soft noise?
Oh, like wind chimes of an angel.
Like, yeah.
She shows up, and of course they're like, Ricky, show her around. And she's like, this is a cafeteria. The only thing that will make you poop out your fucking dick is the cheeseburgers and the Frenchy fries. Don't eat that mac and cheese, or else your butthole will fucking blast like a trumpet solo. And she's just like, gotcha. And they kind of hit it off.
Yeah. Yeah, she seems genuine enough, but he's immediately embarrassed by his enemies. And we keep saying enemies because that's what they're called in the book.
Yeah. The 4 enemies.
Yeah, he's not like a superhero or a supervillain.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they, I don't know, what do? They like push him down on his face or something.
They
right
like
away.
basically like slash. It's like wrestling at that time too. They like slap his tray of food out of his hand, and then they like fucking
that's right,
tombstone pile driver into
like they give him like an off the rope DDT.
Stone Cold Steve Austin comes in with a milk truck and sprays him and then stunners him through it.
Yeah. And
it's
he's
crazy.
flailing and making O faces like Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you're right. Immediately he's embarrassed in the lunchroom. He's tripped. But then later he's walking again. This girl's name is Iris. He's walking with Iris, and they're like, they hide in the bushes, and they come out and just like clothesline him. If we continue the wrestling, they give him like an edge spear.
Yeah, they hold him down and just like pee in his eyes.
Yeah, like it's so fucked up, and he just runs away.
Yeah.
Leaves Iris there,
and she feels bad for him.
She does. She doesn't really do anything, but she feels bad for him.
And so school sucks, everything sucks, and it's almost midnight, and he's like, well, even though shit sucks, I know that Tasha's gonna have a shitty night because everyone's gonna call her at midnight.
Right.
right before midnight, his phone rings, and he's like, the fuck? I can't get phone calls past 10. It's Iris. And she's like, listen, did you see the newspaper today? And he's like, well, it was all, you know. And even then, he was like, yeah, I had to go talk to the librarian because they were on my back about books, and I couldn't find them, and it was a whole, like, everything about this kid's life is tedious. And she's like, I think you're in trouble. And it's like, and like, what do you mean I'm in trouble? It's like, just, in school tomorrow, I think you're in trouble. And like, her dad's like, get off, and keeps saying like, Dad, I'm getting off, which
I did make a note of that.
I made note of. And he was like, oh shit, okay. And then midnight hits, and the phone starts ringing.
Yeah. By the way, I fucking hate that when somebody's like, hey, I got bad news for you. And I'm like, really? Fuck, what is it? I gotta go.
Yeah.
It's like the fucking worst.
Yeah.
My mom will send me a text that's like, call me. And I'm like, I fucking hate that. Like, I wish you would just call me. Because I've just been trained to think it's bad.
Of course, yeah. My mom called me today from, like, I got a phone call from, like, my parents' home number. And I'm like, I haven't gotten a call from their landline forever. It's never used. Like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, uh-oh. What's going on? And it was, like, my mom, like, I got her a phone for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
And she's just like, hey, yeah, I'm trying to set this thing up on it. But she called me from the landline so that she could work on her phone while talking to me. And I was like, phew.
It makes sense.
But still, you know, it's kind of the point where, like, well, once you have elderly parents, like, my parents are in their 60s, but, like, that's not elderly. But, like, this year, it's like anybody. Like, you could call them. You could be, like, I'm 32. I keep saying almost 31. I never know. Who knows? I could have, like, I could have shit myself so bad yesterday. Like, I sneezed and my whole skeleton could have come out. Like, you never know.
Yeah, I mean, a few hundred years ago, Dave, we'd just perish at this age.
Yeah, crazy.
Or before it.
I don't know. I'm surprised I made it. But
we got another 5 years tops, I think.
Probably.
Yeah, because we're both going to try to kickflip.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. We have to kickflip before we're 40.
That will definitely kill me.
Also, I think we should have a party when we're 40 and call it Farty.
This is Farty.
This is Farty. And we should get a room and just cover the walls in whoopee cushions. And then we just run around.
Oh, I love that idea.
Do you think we could
That'd
get,
be
like,
so satisfying.
Maybe, like, I don't know, 6 poster boards. That size.
Okay.
And then we glue whoopee cushions across all of it. And
I
then
love it.
you just roll down the whole thing.
Oh, man. Like a slip and slide whoopee cushion situation.
For the listener, a couple times Matt and I would go to Walgreens, and every time we go to Walgreens, we'd buy a new whoopee cushion. The reason,
That's
how
right.
many whoopee cushions do you need? It's because every time we buy a whoopee cushion, we use it till it breaks.
Those babies don't hold up. And they're like $6 a pop.
And Matt usually ends up in tears. Not because of the broken whoopee cushion, because he laughs so hard that tears run from his face.
It's a joy. It's the gift that keeps on giving. I mean, I'm like an old-timey child. I'm like, oh, Father, thank you for this pouch, and I play with it for days.
It's like,
I have
a real Bronx cheer.
Remember that one? Cheer. That's what it says on the package.
On the
I
package,
have
yeah.
one that we bought in the other room, but it has duct tape all over it because it's. And then you can't quite. It doesn't quite return to normal because like. You got to allow the hole in the middle to exist, but like it breaks around that. It's like a whole thing.
The exhaust pipe, you know.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, Elon Musk, you're working so hard on different kinds of cars. Why don't you work on a new whoopee cushion?
Yeah. Work on space between my cheeks. Actually. You
All
fucking
right.
idiot.
All right.
All right. So Musk cast. Where are we on the Musk cast?
so yeah, he gets calls, and it's just like, hi, I'm a creep. And they're like, what? I'm a creep. And,
in the background, you hear like this. It's like, I'm a creep.
And they're like, when will the creeps meet? He's like, the fuck? And then they're like,
When will the creeps meet?
when are we gonna plant the seeds?
Plant the
plant the
seeds."
seed. And they're like, when are the creeps gonna meet? And he keeps getting all these calls, but these creeps just keep asking, like, the creeps are ready to rule, ready to plant.
Yeah.
It's just, and it's fucking creepy. And he, like, says he unplugs the phones in his house at, like, 4 a.m. and finally falls asleep at 7, which is when his alarm also goes off. So
Yeah.
he's exhausted. He has to go to school. His parents fucking hate him
They're like, get the fuck out of the house.
because they didn't sleep either.
Right, because of the phone. But he goes to school real tired, and he sees that, is this? I don't know what happens next. He sees that the message changed.
The message, in the newspaper, basically, she was like, yeah, the window was open and there were muddy footsteps leading to the computer, and
right.
my fucking name was on it. So she switched her name, Tasha, this is, to Ricky's.
Right. Yes.
So all the creeps called him. And also, he's sitting there in lunch and gets a paper thrown at his face.
Yeah.
And he opens it up and says, when will the creeps meet?
Right. And surprisingly, on this day, his quote-unquote enemies do not bother him at all. Until he goes on a little date with Iris. Now, this is nice.
Iris knows that he's basically the kicking bag of the school.
Yeah.
So she's like, hey, the bake fair's coming, and I just want to... My little dainty hands can't carry all this flour and chalk and chips, and so why don't you come and help me at the grocery store, do a grocery store date? And he's like, a girl? Not only one talks to me, number 2 wants to spend time with me.
Yeah.
This is... I could have never imagined this would happen in my life. People don't want to spend time with me, but a girl wants to spend time with me,
And
and she's
named
pretty.
Iris?
Yeah, and I love that Goo Goo Dolls jam.
I don't want the world to see me.
This song fits. It fits.
It's good. It's a good song.
But he is ready to go meet her in the playground, and
Yes.
the 4 enemies scoop him up, and they bring
him
him
up.
to
Yeah.
the dark tree hole.
They carry him over their shoulder like a sack of flour, and they bring him into the woods, and they sit him down. They're like, thank you for being our leader. And they say a bunch of weird shit to him, and then they turn into reptiles, of course. And they say, you're our commander. We're the creeps. We're awaiting your instructions. We followed your instructions so far. From the newspaper, we called you. And we're awaiting your instructions because we have our seeds that we must plant. I'm using air quotes. And which means we have to put them inside all of our fellow students so they'd also turn into creeps. And they reveal like they're aliens from another planet, and they're here to turn everybody into a creep.
By the way, what
Yes.
book better for the final one of No Nut 2020 than a book all about creeps trying to put their seed in kids?
Yeah, right. This is a year full of Ghislaine Maxwell's and Jeffrey Epstein's, and the Lolita Express, right? It was like
and-
Jeffrey Epstein's plane that fucking Malcolm Gladwell is on the record books for. Everybody
Gross.
fucking likes Malcolm Gladwell, and I think he's so fucking gross and stupid, and nothing he says is true or real.
Yeah, more like unglad bad.
We're like Badwell.
Yours is
Dumbass.
better.
Got him. We got there together. We workshopped it. Dave, I'm going to grab this glass of water over here. Can you
Okay.
vamp for 3 seconds?
Sure. And
Okay.
and then Ricky, he says, "What you talking about? I ain't no sort of leader." And then they're like, "Guess what? I'm a velociraptor." And all of them switch their heads. They all their hair sucks into their skulls. They get all lumpy and they become purple lizards.
That's right. Which, maybe that's cool. Maybe they should be lizards. Like, I don't know. Maybe they're happier.
They seem happy. I mean, the first thing Wart does once he becomes a lizard is swallow a squirrel whole.
That's true. A scrawny squirrel looking for food in the winter.
And he swallows it, and then he's just like, hey, that was dry because of the fur. I like them better without skin on them.
That's right. Yeah.
Brutal. So at this point, Ricky Dookie's a shooter in his pants because he just wanted to go on his first date, and now he is surrounded by monsters. And they explain that they need to get all the kids to eat these seeds. They pull out this little bag of what looks like chocolate chips, and they say, what's the plan? He says, maybe tomorrow. They're
He keeps trying to just brush him off.
Yeah. But they're like, they're going to go bad. How about tomorrow you put them into the cafeteria food. Everybody will eat them. We're good.
Yep.
So he's so freaked out that he runs home, and he's like, I can't. I'm losing my mind. He talks to his parents, and he's like, please listen to me. And they just fucking laugh in his face.
Right. Like, because of course.
Yeah. And they say, hey, if these kids are being bad to you, then mom will come in and scream at them in their homeroom. And he's like, what? Like, nothing is helpful. He decides he's going to wake up early and go to school. Of course, all night their phone rings, even starting earlier. And it's all just like, hey, it's me, the creep again. You ready? We're going to put all this seed inside of a mashed potato. Like, and he's like, stop calling here. So he's like, I'm going to go to the principal right away. So he gets there early and he goes and talks to the principal. And she's like, Ricky, fuck you.
Yeah. You know, when he went there and the way that she was described, because when he first says that they're aliens, like her mouth drops open or something, I thought she would be also a creep.
That's what it sounds like.
But she's not. She's just another person who hates Ricky.
Yeah.
So he's on his own, and eventually he, the creeps are there, and he kind of goes along with it until he tries to like figure something out on the fly. But he ends up like in the kitchen, hovering over the macaroni, about to pour in the seeds. And long story short, he does. The thing that saves everybody is that nobody eats the macaroni.
Yeah. I watched the episode, and they switched it to the tuna casserole.
Okay, yeah,
because
more believable, I guess.
Yeah, because like the cafeteria workers are like, they're so mean to us about the macaroni. We don't get this out of a box. We get real cheese and real macaroni, and we work so hard, and it's good. Damn it.
Yeah.
But he waits, and he can't be there in the cafeteria, and nobody changes. So of course they jump him. Drag him into the tree hole again, and they say, hey, what happened? And he's like, oh, I forgot. Nobody eats the macaroni and cheese here. We only eat our burgers and Frenchy fries. Mm-hmm. And they're like, well, how did you know that? You're supposed to be new to the school like we were. And he's like, and they're like, well, maybe you're not even a creep. Why don't you make your head a Velociraptor one? And he goes, and then the commander saves the day.
Iris.
Mm-hmm.
The like sergeant, and she says, I am also a creep, and he doesn't have to change if he doesn't want to because he's the commander. We have a better plan, or like Brenda has a plan actually to bake cookies for the bake sale and give them away for free and put the seeds in there. And Iris is like, yeah, we'll do your bake thing, it's very nice. And and then Brenda's happy, they're all happy, and basically it's just like, okay, just say whatever it takes to let them live, and it works. And Iris is in fact not actually a creep till the very end, and she's just there to save her potential boyfriend, which is very nice. And she
very nice
couldn't go a whole ep without a Borat ref. And she followed originally when the first time they dragged him into the woods. She followed and heard and saw everything, so she was hip to what was going on.
Hip to the jive. That's Iris.
Yep.
Because she don't want the world to see her.
And I don't think that they understand.
Whatever it feels like the movies.
I just want you to know who I am, which is a creep.
Or not a creep.
From another planet.
So they then there's like a cooking montage because the creeps are all like, then let's go British Bake Off together. Yeah,
and Party in the USA plays.
Oh, also something we didn't notice is that anytime the creeps are pumped, they high five using their tongues, which is erotic.
Yes, very.
But also not, because we're just friends, and that's how we high five.
That's true. We've always tongued.
Not during COVID times.
Not
but,
during COVID. That's not responsible.
Yeah. Now we're going to have to do our little tallywhack, we call it, where we both get our tiny wieners and we make them hit. But because it's COVID, we make sure that they're both condomed.
Yes. We also put little like slip covers over our tongues from now on. Let's do that.
We put like those like iPod socks that they used to sell.
Yes. Yeah, we should still be careful. Just like how when you get the vaccine, you still should wear a mask. We'll get together, but we'll put little condoms on our tongues.
And dicks.
And dicks, of course. Well, we do that anyway.
Yeah.
Just hanging out, soft.
Just hanging out.
Yeah.
Do you remember that time that our friend Justin was coming over to hang out and he was walking to your apartment and we were dressed as sharks? And we said, it's going to be so funny when he comes here and we're dressed as sharks. And then we were like, you know what would be even funnier if he came here and we were naked. So then we just got naked. And he walked in and we're just sitting watching TV naked. And he's like, hey. And he laughs. And he's like, do you guys want a beer? Because he brought beers. And we're like, yeah, sure. He walks into your kitchen and then comes out holding 3 beers also naked.
That was very good, yes.
He also bought me this shirt. It's a...
Shakira.
It's an Akira shirt, as in the manga / anime.
Right.
But
it is
instead of
Shakira.
Akira, it says Shakira, and it has Kanada, except it is with Shakira's head on his head.
I love that.
So anyway, shout out to Justin for being naked.
Yeah, we took pictures that night, and I remember shout out our friend who we used to work with at some unnamed electronics company, Torch, who saw the photo, and when I went to the back of house, he pulled me aside and he was like, "Hey man, why were you guys all naked last night?" And like, it just it felt right, and he was like, "Okay, cool."
My favorite is what producer Chib said when she saw the photo, and she was like, "My couch."
Yes, I did Lysol the couch. Mostly for my dirty little bee hole. You never know what's coming out of there. Blood from fissures and whatnot.
That's a good photo. That's a good family photo to put out there.
Yeah, makes me feel good. So anyway, our little boy, just ultimately the cookies are made and the bake sale happens, and he tries to stop it. And he goes to a podium where there's a microphone, and he says, "Hey, don't eat the cookies. They're going to turn you into an alien." Very convincing case.
Of course.
And shockingly, nobody cares or buys it.
And shockingly, they all do what they normally do and treat him fucking terribly.
Correct. So he leans into it, baby. And he goes... Well, actually, first, it is admirable that he goes and tries to... eat them all himself.
Which apparently there's like 200 fucking cookies. He's not going to eat them himself.
Hey, I could do it. Holidays, baby. I've been eating a lot of cookies. I got a high cookie tolerance. My cookies per minute is like through the roof.
CPMs.
Yeah, my CPMs. But Food Fight kind of breaks out a little bit.
Which is where I thought it was going to go. I thought he was going to just yell Food Fight and all of them were going to be destroyed.
Yeah, that would be ideal. There's a lot of that, and we can talk about that. But it's only really a food fight against Ricky. They're just like, they keep hitting him with things.
It's more like a food firing squad.
Correct.
Like,
yeah.
He has like one candy cigarette and like a fruit roll-up wrapped around his eyes.
Yeah, so Brenda says... ignore them. Once they eat the cookies, you will be their leader. They will all be your slaves. So again, problematic. And then it happens a lot. It says, I turned to Brenda. Huh? What did you say? I said they will all be your slaves. Brenda shouted over the chanting and laughter. My slaves? My slaves. It's italicized. My slaves. My is italicized. So it says it 3 times in different ways. And he's like, you know what? Free cookies, baby. Who wants the cookies? He just fucking lets them turn into creeps.
And then he swallows one himself, and he's just like, listen, being an alien, but being like, in charge of people and people not being a bottom level of the rung, but being higher up. He's like, anything's got to be better than this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sad
So,
fucking ending. And even Iris is just like, really? He's like, sorry.
yeah. Well, it's it's a tragic tale, but RL had to tell it. He felt compelled. Yeah. So I will say the food fight would have been a cleaner ending, and also, I was thinking he would just like get a baggie of chocolate chips and put them in one pocket, and like then you're done, right? You just use that one.
Yeah.
I
Well, he
don't
also like spills it at one point, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we always got a spare."
Yeah.
And, like there's like little things that happen, but I mean, all in all, this is like this book hits different. This is a heavy hitting book.
Yeah. I thought it was good overall.
I'm just happy that it doesn't suck, and we didn't name our podcast after a sucker.
Yeah, it's that is nice to know that it's a standout because it's weird as hell, and it's not a badly written book.
No.
And on that note, do you have good that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I think throughout the book, there's very few parts that are like
Notably,
really notably well written, but it's not poorly written. It's
I felt the
exactly
same.
where it needs to be. It is concise. It is well descripted, and also the emotion is there.
yeah,
It's storytelling. It's not prose. It's not flowery at any point. It's to the point and good. I thought the parents were described really well. They were like the part where like all his parents do is watch the Weather Channel, and the only thing they have to say to him or each other is about the weather, which is I think a cool way of seeing like what parents do, where it's like all they care about are stocks or parent stuff. But like
yeah,
in a parent's mind, like as an adult, not as a parent, but as an adult, like weather is the thing you go to first when you have nothing to say to somebody.
for sure. And it is a universal parent thing. I think like our parents are boring. Like before this FaceTime call that we're having, Dave, I talked to my dad, and he described to me what he put in a sauce he made, down to like salt, pepper, oregano. It's like this is like I love my dad, but it's like those things like the weather, what you ate for dinner. Those things should be like what you talk about last when you have absolutely nothing else to talk about. But they are often on
Weather
the front
is their thing.
of baby boomers' minds. Yes.
Weather is there. That's all they talk about and all they watch. Also, the parents, just little things where he talks about like food and how parents don't have time to cook for him and don't cook for him. They'd rather work. I mean, the parents are very absent and uninterested in everything this kid does.
Yeah. Correct.
And anytime he does say that there's a problem, they're going to run into the school and become a problem because he's, burdening them more so than they're not there for him. So I thought that was good. He does a really kind of like engrossing anxiety attack during the car wash. It's like the whole world is spinning around you while you're reading it, just because like he just loses it. Like it's his final straw, and he's just like, I screamed. I couldn't take it anymore. It's just, it was very believable too. It wasn't just like, I've had too much. I decided, like, it was just, there was no other option. He just given up. They broke him.
Yeah.
And for a book for third graders, that's a lot.
Yeah. It's heavy.
And there was another line that I thought was super sad. It said, and for the third time in 4 days, I ran all the way home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we see that
after
play out.
after pulling off. No, it was for the third time in 4 days. I ran all the way home after pulling off the prank, which
Yeah.
I thought was strong because like the first 2 times he ran all the way home was because they ran him all the way home. He got like
Yeah.
the shit kicked out of him, but that last time he ran home was because he did something about it, which was kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know, just so much about this. And then on page 47, Dad's like, "You getting off?" And it's like, "Dad, I'm getting off." And he's like, "Good." But yeah, I don't know. What about you? Good.
Same as you. I think it's a better. The quality of the book is better than a lot than a lot that we've seen, and there's less like weird RL-isms of like overusing exclamation points and like these weird sort of corny things that he can do. On page 19, there is. Drop my book. There is a little bit of nice description and world building. The afternoon sun was already dropping behind the houses and bare trees. It gets dark so early here in the winter. Patches of snow on the lawns and sidewalk gleam dully as we walk toward the street. That's like one of the very few times that there is description like that. It just kind of sets the time of year and stuff like that. It does. I thought it was nice. On page 37, what did I write here? Ricky at his lowest, and you really feel bad for him. So this is when he breaks the camera unintentionally because of his enemies. And she says, this is Tasha saying, go away. This was your last chance. You didn't deserve it. You're just a creep. Why do you think all the kids call you Ricky Rat? Because that's what you are, a little rodent. I felt a stab of pain in my chest. I struggled to breathe. I spun around so that Tasha couldn't see how upset I was. And I hurried out of the room and out of the school. And he's running across the playground and, past the car wash. It says, as I passed by, I heard some kids start to chant, Sicky Ricky, Sicky Ricky. And I heard some other kids laugh. I mean, fucking awful.
Yeah.
So that's crushing. Page 41, there's that MTV joke. So sort of talking about Weather Channel. He says like, I told my parents that they should put on MTV instead of the Weather Channel. And they said they would only watch MTV if they talked about the weather. It was like, It was very cute. Oh yeah, on page 61, we didn't mention there was another thing that happened with the creeps, which is they wrote when are we going to meet on his locker in red paint that was like dripping. So it was just, I like that the communication got more intense before you actually met the creeps. It was like phone calls, then it was the note, then it was like bloody red paint on his locker. Page 86. Oh, this woman, I guess this is the principal, Miss Crawford. I like the way that she was described, or what Ricky said here. He says, Miss Crawford always reminds me of a black and white movie. She has short, curly white hair, gray eyes, very pale face. She wears black, stuff like that. But I like that. She reminds me of a black and white movie. Yeah. And then I just had I made some notes that were like questions I had. It's like at the end, Iris is sort of just gone. Like there's no resolution to her character. She's not even in the story for the last few chapters.
In the TV show, when he eats the cookie, she looks up to him and she's like, why? And he just goes, I'm sorry.
That would be better.
Yeah.
And also after Ricky goes to make this announcement at the bake sale, the creeps are still on his side. Like they don't confront him like they did in the woods. Like he's like, hey, this is a trap, don't do it. And the creeps are like supporting him and clapping. They're like, yes, bravo. Yeah. Like I don't understand that. But whatever. It is what it is. But I just had to make note of that because I was a little confused by it.
Yeah.
What were your bad? I don't have many bad things.
I don't either. So when the writing was bad, because it was pretty concise, the whole book, it really stood out. Like on page 2, where is it? The air felt cold against my warm cheeks and wet, as if it might snow again. It's a comma, like just and wet, when it's like, should just be the air felt cold and wet against my warm skins as if it might snow again. Yeah. It's like he forgot to write it and it was like a typewriter and he's like, shit, it was also wet. It was just real weird, and it's like just to double comma that off in the sides, and like it was strange. Also, the beginning of the book is basically jumping between past and present tense, and it's kind of a mess. Yeah. At points.
Yeah, you're right, because you're in the action, but then just the timeline is weird. It's not just like, it doesn't start with like, here's what happened, and then you catch up to present day. It's like staggered in a weird way.
he's telling you it now, but some of the things that like are general are still in past tense.
Yeah.
But it's him telling you current tense. It's just the transitions. It doesn't cut cleanly between the two as if he's telling a story.
Yeah.
It's just some stuff doesn't. And there was enough times that happened that it was like worth noting.
Yeah.
But the whole telling of the story and jumping back and forth in time was, I think, successful. It's just tenses got a little messy.
Yeah. Cool.
That's it.
Nice. So real quick, page 2 and page 5. R.L. Stine likes to use the word little in this book a lot as a descriptor. So he says on page 2 he says Ricky Beamer, that's me, had more important things on his mind tonight. Tonight I plan to do a little spying and then a little nasty mischief.
I actually, in my notes, I didn't know what it meant. It just said nasty mischief.
It's like very weird. He sounds like a pervert. And he does it again on page 5. It says, "Please get up," I silently urged Tasha. "Please leave the room too, so I can play my little joke." It's like, I don't know. Oh yeah, on page 5 as a descriptor, like when he's lurking around outside the school, it says, "I heard a dog howling in the distance," and that just struck me as something that you could just easily forego. Like, who cares? It has nothing to do with anything. This trope that I've seen before in things, so it's not exclusive to RL, but spilling something on an external keyboard and having your computer explode. That's not a real thing. And then on page 45, I guess at this point it must be Tasha who says like, oh no, it's when Ricky sprays, what's his face's Wart's dad's car. Wart says like, if you like, my dad's going to sue you for this. And Ricky says, "Get in line." I'm like, what?
That's kind of a baller move, though.
Yeah, it's like he's famously litigious or something.
Yeah. He's like basically like Google or some shit.
Yeah.
He's like, my team of lawyers, they're used to this.
So that was weird. But that's it. That's all I got. What was your spook?
I just think the entire book, the bullying, just no way out, the helpless feeling, that was really scary. Sure. The scariest part of this book was like, in the end, I guess the real thought of it, it's like the most generic alien sci-fi thing ever. It's just like, in the end, the real monsters were man itself.
Yeah.
Which is true.
Sure.
In the end, the aliens were not his biggest problem.
No, yeah. His position in life and in the social pecking order informed the way that this played out. This was the book overall is sort of like a kid's Twilight Zone episode or something.
It is, yeah.
I would agree with you, and I would also, for me, maybe say like the part where Iris calls and just says you're in trouble with no explanation. That sort of left me hanging. That's a doom and gloom feeling. Who is your best dressed? Oh,
my girl Iris with her long plastic jangling earrings.
Oh yes, I can see that. That stuck with me for inexplicable reasons.
Also, jingling and jangling is very holiday. So
that's true.
Gotta give it up.
I would go with Wart. It said his real. Okay. So he's describing here. Ricky's describing David and Wart, two of the enemies. David is tall and blonde. Wart is short and lumpy and red-faced. He looks like a little wart.
That's kind of cute. Warts are gross, but a little wart?
It's a sweet little baby. Isn't that so nice? How about your alt?
My Friend Dahmer.
Okay, sure.
Have you read that book?
No.
Have you seen the movie?
No. I've read about Dahmer, though, and it is fucking horrendous.
So there's a cartoonist who went to high school and was friends with Jeffrey Dahmer. So he wrote a comic about growing up with Jeffrey Dahmer. Yeah. And it takes place in high school and ends before all the stuff started. There's no murder in the book or anything, but
right.
it's crazy that I could draw so many comparisons to Ricky in this book and Jeffrey Dahmer. It's kind of scary.
It'd be a matter of time before he's drilling holes in heads and pouring hot water in them.
Yeah, just because it's not okay to be gay.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
it's just, I mean, Ricky really is just looking for any sort of human connection and love.
Yeah.
And in the end, it seemed like a after-school special of some kid who brings a gun to school. Like, it was scary.
Yes.
And fucked.
Yeah.
Like, this kid is bound for, I'm not surprised at the end he has decided to doom the human race.
Right.
Let me put it this way.
That opportunity's on a silver platter, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to take it.
And the feeling we're supposed to get is, good for you. Which is even crazier to me.
Yeah, it is.
We're not supposed to be like, no, don't do that. Like, when Jeffrey Dahmer, like, lays in bed with a dead man's body and the head's in the refrigerator, like,
yeah.
you don't go like, yeah, he did it. He got his bullies.
Good for him.
Society wouldn't let him be a homosexual, and his parents were
It's
crazy.
society's fault. Yeah.
So it's good for them. But like, I don't know, it's just very, it's justice in a way.
Yeah.
It's justice for the abuse he's taken, and it's I don't know. It seems like a serial killer story, and that's the most unnerving part.
Yeah.
But that's gonna be my book recommendation. My Friend Dahmer. It's a like very much like an indie comic kind of thing, but it's an incredible read. It's wow. But yeah. What about your alters?
So nothing that insightful. I just wrote A Little Nasty Mischief, which was handed to me by R.L. Stein. Where is the witch?
I think it's gonna be the temptress Iris.
You think it's Iris?
I think she's a witch in a different way. I think she's like a friendly witch.
Okay, that's nice.
Because what is she cooking up in her stew of witch thing? Just some niceness.
Yeah.
She's the one using her magic for good.
Yeah.
Because it seems like she's, either everybody in the school's a witch or she's the witch.
Plus, I don't want the world to see me. What's that, an invisibility spell? Come on.
Probably. And they don't want to understand because they didn't go to Hogwarts.
That's right. I would say Brenda and her little seeds.
Careful. If you made that, if you dropped that S, then we'd be in trouble.
Context. And who's our liquor? I guess it's a couple of the creeps.
It's the creeps for stealing our high five.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Oh, my God. What a great episode. Last episode of 2020. Closing the book on this year, Dave. Symbolically.
It's our nipular titular episode.
Yeah, did I already say that I made an error last episode? I said it was the penultimate episode of Calling All Creeps, which would have mean that this is our last one. I meant penultimate of 2020. And this is now the ultimate. So I'll see you next year.
I'll see you next year too.
Hey.
Cheers to you.
Cheers to you.
Cheers to us. Again, there wasn't many jokes near the middle and end of this because we talked about bullying and serious things.
Hey, what do I got to be on all the time? It's exhausting.
Yeah,
you come up with the jokes.
All right, so let's each end with a funny thought for them to stick with. We'll go back and forth. Ready?
Okay.
Okay. A Harry?
Yes.
No, now you add to a Harry.
Smelly.
But
yeah.
With
perm. With a perm.
That
looks great when it's humid.
and is farting in the tune of
Jingle Bells.
Oh, that would be real cute.
But
yeah, it is a butt.
Every time a fart happens, the testicles They get blown up. They get blown up toward my dick.
Yeah, and the testicles, they move to the fart song
Yes.
like a oompa band, like a oompa oompa, and they move back and forth like pistons. Like how I imagine an engine works.
And then we do it so well that we get an interesting phone call from the Blue Man Group.
And instead, they don't talk, so
No.
they have to put one of those like things when people can't speak because they smoke
sure.
too much.
Yeah.
And it goes, but because they don't talk, they hold it up to their buttholes broke. They have to hold, they have to hold one of those up to their grundle so that it could play a robot fart.
Which just sounds like like an unenthused sheep.
It's like fart. All right, is that all the jokes?
Okay, I think we're good.
Are you crying?
Yeah, I certainly am.
Me too, a little. Now it feels like we got that ultimate episode energy to end the year.
Oh, beautiful. I love it. On that confident note, we'll see you losers in 2021. Do not nut under any circumstances.
Don't nut until, wait for it.
Yeah, we'll count down
Hold.
with your partner.
Hold.
Release. Okay, bye.
Bye.